Okay, so the perennial question, how to chant a gospel. It gets a little bit crazy because, I don't know, people just don't know these things. What can I say? But we can do better. Okay, so there are 3 gospel tones in general. There's A, B, and C, as they're currently called in the Graduale Romanum. Also, the gospel tone, the ad libitum tone, and the more solemn tone, historically called. The first one is very simple, but you have to be able to count to 4. So the way this one works is that the different tone is on the 4th syllable from the end of a line. So the way it sounds is Sequentia Sancti Evangelii secundum Matteum. Well, why? Because it's 4, 3, 2, 1 syllables. Now, if I were marking this in a book, here's how I mark it. I would say, all right, I went through beforehand, I counted the syllables, I saw where the accents are, and here's what makes sense. It's secundum Matteum, and I underlined that one. All right, so for this gospel, going through it really fast, this thing, melodically, only happens at the ends of sentences. So the first sentence, dormiebat, great. Fluctibus ipse vero dormiebat. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4 is here. So put a line there, big old line. In that way, we will know to do that. Then, next one, salva nos perimus, salva nos perimus, because perimus has 3 syllables, 1, 2, 3, 4. So on the 4th one, that's when the thing happens. Then there's a question here too, qui timidi estis modice fidei, so put a nice little upside down question mark there for yourselves, and that way you know, like, oh, there's a question happening now. I should probably go to the question tone. Question tone is the same in all of the tones. It's exactly the same. And it's just the 3 to the end, so it's always going to be fi, dei. And I always mark that with this kind of half moon. Then, tunc surgens, so on, end of the line here, mania to tas 4. Tranquillitas mania, and make that one there. And then the end has its own thing. So in the normal gospel tone, you look for 2 tonic charges. So obediunt ei, and obediunt. And so on the obediunt, that's when you do the, and it totally ends on do. That's how I've taught people before, but it's obediunt where that happens. And you just get a little mark there, and then you know what to do. Just do the So, the way this gospel then sounds is Dominus vobiscum, et cum spiritu tuo, sequentia Sancti Evangelii secundum Matteum, gloria tibi, Domine. In illo tempore, ascendente Iesu in naviculam, secuti sunt eum discipuli eius, et ecce motus manius factus est in mari, ita ut navicula operiretur fluctibus, ipse vero dormiebat. Et accesserunt ad eum discipuli eius, et suscitaverunt eum dicentes, Domine salva nos perimus. Et dicit eis Iesus, quid timidi estis modice fidei. Tunc surgens imperavit ventis et mari, et facta est tranquillitas mania. Tranquillitas mania. Sorry. Porro homines mirati sunt dicentes, qualis est hic quia venti et mare obediunt ei. There you go. That's one gospel. Okay, let's do it again. A little bit more complicated this time. The second tone, ad libitum, or just tone B, is very similar to the epistle tone. So it has that same da 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 da, but it ends ba 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 like that. You know, it has that down a minor third thing. So this way it goes again, just like you do for the epistle. Look for the tonic charges in the first half of a phrase, and then look for the last tonic charge in the last half of the phrase. So, sequentia sancti evangelii, because this is a tonic charge, evangelii, secundum Matteum, and I put the underlines there. In illo tempore, and so on. Ascendente Jesu nibiculum secuti eum discipuli eius. That sounds like a nice place to do the mediation. Discipuli eius. I knew that was going to happen. 1 second. Okay, trying this again. So, with this tone, it sounds a lot like the epistle tone, because it does the ba 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 thing in the first half of a phrase, but then it ends differently. It ends ba ba ba. So it's marked very similarly, in my way of marking it, to the epistle. So you take a phrase, sequentia sancti evangelii secundum Matteum, because in the first half of the phrase you look for the two tonic charges, evangelii, and then the one that's preparation before it, I give the squiggle. The squiggle is the preparation one. So, going on in that, in illo tempore, because that's just how it begins, ascendente Jesu in naviculum secuti sunt eum, di, squiggle, scipuli eius, et ecce motus manius factus est in mare, ita ut navicula pediretur fluctibus, ipse vero dormiebat. And nice little underline there, because that's how the lines end. And then next one, Domine salva nos per imus. I don't like doing the flex, that mediant kind of thing going on at the end of phrases that then have this colon and then address, because it seems to break it up, it doesn't sound right syntactically, so I always just leave those straight. Eum dicentes, Domine, salva nos per imus, et digiteis Iesus. There's a question here, and the question is always the same. Qui timidi estis modice fidei, and there's my little half moon there. Tunc surgens imperavit ventis et mari, et facta est tranquillitas magna. And I think we could also put in the mediant here as well, et ventis et mari. So, avit, squiggle there, ventis et mari, then the end of it. I would say, like here we have the last line, qualis est hic, quia venti et mare obediunt ei. So like, qualis est hic, because that's how the final of this works, est hic. Then on the T, quia venti et mare obediunt ei, as typical Gospels go. So I would say this Gospel sounds like this. Sequentia sancti evangelii secundum Matteum, gloria tibi Domine. In illo tempore, ascendente Jesu in naviculum secuti sunt eum discipuli eius, et ecce motus manius factus est in mari, ita ut navicula peridetur fluctibus, ipse vero dormiebat. Et accesserunt ad eum discipuli eius, et suscita verunt eum dicentes,
Domine salva nos peribus. Et dicit eis Iesus, qui timidi estis modice fidei. Tunc surgens imperavit ventis et mari, et facta est tranquillitas magna. Poro homines mirati sunt dicentes, qualis est hic, quia venti et mare obediunt ei.
There you go. Now for tone C. The other gospel tone, tone C, or more ancient, call it whatever you will, is a little bit more fun. It breaks from the tone for epistles because instead of being a minor third down, it's a major third down. So instead of being da pa 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 like epistles, now we make that mediant ba pa 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 major third down. So the same thing, the same idea. Sequentia Sancti Evangelii, so Sancti, squiggle there, Evangelii secundum Matteum. And that's how the final works for this. It's just down to the whole step below.
In illo tempore.
So the same thing. Sunt eum discipuli eius, disci, and a squiggle there. So it sounds like Secuti eum discipuli eius. Come to the end of the line. Ipse vero dormiebat. That's how it goes. Chantes salvanus perimus. It's rather simple in that sense. Et dicit eis Iesus. The question is always the same, except now it's in this mode.
Et dicit eis Iesus, qui timidi estis modice fidei.
So give yourself a question mark there. Upside down question mark is like the question is happening. And it's always that third from the end that gets the motion, so that's where I put my half moon.
Tunc surgens imperavit ventis et mari, et facta est tranquillitas magna. Poro homines mirati sunt dicentes, qualis est hic.
Same thing for the ending as the last tone.
Quia venti et mare obediunt ei.
You know, like it's just the end of a line. It's the end of a sentence, but you can say, do something if you want to. Okay. So here's what it sounds like.
Sequentia Sancti Evangelii secundum Matteum. Gloria tibi, Domine. In illo tempore ascendente Iesu in aviculam secuti sunt eum discipuli eius. Et ecce motus manius factus est in mari, ita ut navicula operiretur fluctibus, ipse vero dormiebat. Et hac cesserunt ad eum discipuli eius, et suscita verunt eum dicentes, Domine salva nos perimus. Et dicit eis Iesus, qui timidi estis modice fidei. Tunc surgens imperavit ventis et mari, et facta est tranquillitas magna. Porro homines mirati sunt dicentes, qualis est hic, quia venti et mare obediunt ei.
And there you go. Put a line there, just because it's really hard to look at the punctuation when the letters are like 4 inches tall. You know, we're not really used to that. All right, so here's the thing. Should we also put a kind of mediate thing going on around here somewhere? Like, should we repeat the mediant, you know?
Ascendente Iesu neviculam secuti sunt eum discipuli eius, et ecce motus manius factus est in mari, ita ut navicula operiretur fluctibus. Maybe something like that. Ipse vero dormiebat.
Sure, why not? Why not? Put it in. It'll be fun. So it'll be fluctibus,
operiretur fluctibus, because you go for the 2 tonic charges and 1 preparation tone, and now you have another mediant in there. Up to you. It really is up to you how you want to speak it. In just the same way as when you speak normally, the intonation and everything else about the manner in which the words happen is up to you. Do this as well, to be up to you. You can do it. But that's how. And again, in my way of notating this very quickly on the page, this is just a photograph of a page from the Missal that was kind of short enough that we could just do it really quickly for this video. It's really simple. Tonic charges get underlines, the ones that are kind of important for the sake of the tone. And prep tones get squiggles. There you go. And you get this like half moon thing for the 3-2-1 of the question. All right, that's it. Gospel tones, real fast. Enjoy.